Okay, saw this earlier on the news and decided I gotta cover this story. It's about police in Phoenix, Arizona, uh, freaking assaulting a deaf guy. So let me play this news story and then I'll give some commentary.
First tonight, this is video. Phoenix police arresting a black man who's deaf and has cerebral palsy. That arrest is violent. In this story, we're going to show you close body camera footage that's intense and difficult to watch. So please consider this your warning.
It happened late this summer, and that means it happened after the Department of Justice released its historic and severe report against Phoenix PD. Here's ABC 15 Chief Investigator Dave Biscobet.
Yeah, we reached out to Phoenix police about this arrest, but they aren't saying much about it.
Every time something happens, oh, we can't talk about it because it's under investigation or for some reason. They'll never talk about it,
Confirmed it's now under internal investigation. But this case raises a lot of questions, and it really serves as sort of a test case. And that's both for Phoenix and the DOJ. See, Phoenix is trying to prove it doesn't need federal oversight. But will the DOJ trust the city when things like this continue to happen? You've seen the surveillance video. A Phoenix officer pulling into a parking lot, pulling in front of a man, darting out of his truck, then immediately going after him. Now this is the body camera footage.
Everybody stop right now.
Remember, the man is deaf and has cerebral palsy.
Oh, went with the fist.
Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Hands behind your back.
Oh, elbow.
Put your hands behind your back.
Ooh, fist to the face. This brother's about to be a multi-millionaire. He just got hit with a lottery ticket.
Hold him.
Oh, ooh, non-stop fist.
Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back. Hold your left foot, change to deploy your units. Hand behind your back. Hand behind your back. Hand behind your back.
All right. Look at this pussy ass cop. It's two of you. One cop already has his hand. You telling me you can't grab his hand, his right hand? You gotta keep tasing his ass, pussy ass cop. Oh, I hope you lose your job over this.
Your back. Hand behind your back.
Between the two officers, the man is punched at least 10 times and tasered 4 times.
At least 10 times. Nah, he's being too generous.
He can't understand them. And he's deaf and he's physically compromised.
And he's
The
innocent.
entire thing is just outrageous.
That's Jesse Showalter. He agreed to watch the video with us. And that's because he's an attorney for Tyrone McAlpin. Together, they're planning to bring an excessive force lawsuit against the Phoenix Police Department.
12 years you've lived here?
But before we get into that, first let's get into why officers went after Tyrone.
When we look at the body camera that we've seen so far, what it shows is that Circle K employees had a Caucasian male in the store causing problems, and they called the police to trespass this person who wouldn't leave.
Hey, you guys just want this guy to trespass? Okay.
And when police arrive, they don't do any investigation to find out what this guy was doing in the store. Instead, they talk to the guy, and he claims that he was assaulted and points to somebody in the street that he claims did it.
The guy pointed at Tyrone, who was across the street.
You're saying that's the guy that assaulted right there. You leverage that on him.
So we have a situation where the officers respond. Some white guy says, hey, no, some black guy assaulted me, and they just drop what they're doing and head right over there.
That's what the video shows.
He was standing outside the door. What dude? Why didn't you wait here first? The white guy?
And that takes us back to this point.
And this police officer, out of the gate, assaults him, and then uses Tyrone's attempts to protect himself to try to justify felony charges.
Officials charged Tyrone with aggravated assault and resisting arrest. In their reports, officers wrote Tyrone tried to walk away from them, took a fighting stance, threw repeated punches at them, and bit one of them.
Everything that I see in that.
All right, so I'm gonna pause it right here, get some more commentary. Because this ain't the first time I see something like this. It should be freaking police training. I've seen police take people to the ground from behind. People listening to music, with headphones on, and they're like, well, they weren't listening to me, so I took them down. Well, common sense. Some people walk around with headphones. This guy had headphones on. I could see on the footage. You don't know if especially if someone's facing away from you too, they're not paying attention. If they're on their phone, they might be talking to somebody. If you're not doing anything wrong, you're just on your way. And yet they always want to tackle somebody from behind, or instead of, it should be common sense. If you talk to somebody face to face, be like, hey, I'm trying to get eye to eye, You don't know if the person's mentally ill, or it could be somebody with a mental disability that can't comprehend certain things. It could be a foreigner that or somebody who doesn't speak English. There's been cases of that they were like, well, they weren't listening to me. Well, they don't understand what you're saying. They should have some common sense, but they don't. All they do, they first attack and then ask questions later. Yeah, but you know what? That brother, he just hit the lottery. He's gonna be a multi-millionaire. Them cops, they probably won't get any kind of punishment, but I guess the DOJ is gonna come down on their ass, because for the longest time, Phoenix police been getting away with it, and now the DOJ says and then with this case on there, it's pretty much over for them.
That video, as well as the other officer's body camera, looks like Tyrone's just trying to avoid being harmed by these officers. And that only makes them escalate the situation and increase the degree of violence that they're using.
One of the officers says Tyrone bit him. I mean, how do you respond to that?
Tyrone was face down on the ground with two officers striking and choking him, and that the only way that Tyrone could have possibly bit anybody on the hand or wrist is if one of those officers placed their hand or wrist in his mouth. And what it looks like from the video is that the officer who claims he was bitten was using an illegal chokehold on Tyrone.
Here's the question that, invariably, undoubtedly will be asked. Why didn't he just comply?
Oh, he's deaf.
And the answer is easy, is he's deaf.
And he's innocent.
He didn't understand what they were doing, and he had done nothing wrong.
What kind of disabilities do you have?
He's deaf and he's got cerebral palsy.
Okay.
And I've been on the phone with him since Circle K.
How is he deaf if you've been on the phone?
Because I know sign language, that's why. I signed to them. That's why.
Nowhere in their police reports did the two officers document they were told about Tyrone's disabilities. But records do show when another cop went back to check store surveillance footage and talked to witnesses, none of it supported the white guy's claims. Remember, he told officers Tyrone assaulted him at the store, but there was no evidence of any assault. Store employees say the white guy was the one causing problems, getting aggressive, laying on the floor, and refusing to leave. In fact, store employees told police Tyrone tried to get him out of the store and eventually just left. Now, this all happened on August 19th. That's 2 months after the Department of Justice released the results of its historic investigation into Phoenix PD.
It's almost like a single example that illustrates all of the problems highlighted in the DOJ's report.
Among many failures, the DOJ found Phoenix PD has a pattern and practice of racial bias, escalation, and not giving people a chance to comply before using force, excessive use of tasers, dangerous use of chokeholds, and violating the rights of people with disabilities.
I mean, this just raised my blood pressure. Like I said, he's about to be a multi-millionaire, future millionaire right there. Cause any jury seeing that, oh man, you're like, it's a clear-cut case. They're probably gonna try to settle out of court, because they're like, this dude's about to bankrupt the city. I want to say a couple things too. That I saw a comment yesterday, and I'm gonna use this from now on. It said, we don't have a justice system. We have a legal system. And I like that comment so much because it is true. When you go to court for anything, that's not justice. That's just the legal system, you know. Justice isn't always, you know, it's not with the government. Sometimes you get justice with the government, but not all the time, you know. It's just legal procedures. Justice, you can get it with the government or without it, you know. And sometimes the government doesn't give you justice.
Me to understand how the city can come out and say with a straight face that it is meeting the DOJ report head on when this man, Tyrone McAlpin, is being charged with assault on police officers for this incident where, you know, the video tells the whole story.
He's dead.
Stand up.
How many times are they gonna tell you he's dead?
I mean, so still now a month later, he's still facing charges for this.
That's correct.
And he's facing charges.
He's just.
You know, they don't drop the charges even if the person's innocent because they use that as kind of leverage as, well, you know what, if you don't sue us, we'll drop the charges. But them charges ain't gonna stick.
He's in the post.
Now, as you just heard, Tyrone is still facing several felony charges. In fact, even though those officers are under internal investigation, they still just went into court to testify against Tyrone. And as you can see, our cameras were there, and the judge ruled there was probable cause for the case to move forward. Now, in our next report, you'll hear those officers on the stand, hear their justification for the arrest, and you'll also see some bizarre moments in the courtroom.
Very tough to watch.
Oh man, I gotta react to that. I ain't seen he didn't bite you anywhere like that. I gotta see that. I didn't see that in any of the tape. And if he did, you put in your fist in his mouth. And the judge, that judge, you gotta put that judge on blast. You know, you gotta get rid of some of these judges that are they get off on you know police brutality and all this. And times are changing, you know. More and more people are putting these judges on blast, and they're elected officials, so they're gonna put that judge, give their information, and pretty sure he or she ain't gonna be in office anymore. That's that'll make for a good campaign ad of whoever's running against that idiot. Yeah, well, let me know what you think. Are you with the police? The police did anything wrong? You know, well, obviously, you know, the government says they're in the right. You know, they had probable cause to stop him, and there is a Tyrone or whatever his name is, clearly guilty. You know, you cannot defend yourself against law enforcement. Freaking idiots. All right, this one kind of it's making me angry, but. At least he's about to sue the shit out of those fucking city, and he'll have more money than those cops will ever have in their whole life. You know, that guy's about to be set. You know, all right, and the people who are gonna pay for it is the taxpayers. So, you know, maybe they can vote out that judge and get rid of some of these freaking corrupt cops.